Well, the tensions in the Middle East are starting to ripple through the Indian housing market. Industry insiders say higher freight and steel costs are feeding into project budgets, while buyers are becoming more cautious amid uncertainty. Rebecca Bundan followed this report for CNA from Mumbai.
Real estate developer Srishti Group is feeling the impact of a conflict thousands of kilometres away. The company says construction costs across its 3 residential projects in Mumbai have jumped by about 10%, as the crisis in the Middle East pushes up global prices of key inputs like steel, cement and energy. At the same time, it says some buyers are putting off home purchases due to a climate of uncertainty.
There are a lot of walk-ins happening, but customers are trying to delay their decision. This is a fact. We are also not trying to push them at this moment because we also understand where they are coming from. We have to let this event pass.
According to property consultancy Nahur, steel prices have risen by 20% since the Iran conflict led to disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. The firm also highlights that home sales in India's top 7 cities have declined by 7% in the first quarter of the year from the previous 3 months. Even prospective non-resident Indian home buyers in the Middle East, it says, appear to be temporarily holding back on purchases.
The dip primarily can be attributed, number one, definitely to the sentiment, which is kind of on the lower side because of this ongoing uncertainty because of the war. And the second most important reason is that the year 2025, we saw, the value and volume both peaking out. The prices had really gone up.
India's property market had surged past pre-pandemic levels in recent years, with strong demand in major cities and steadily rising prices. The real estate sector contributes significantly to India's GDP and is widely considered the second highest employment generator after agriculture. Industry insiders say the market outlook seems positive if the conflict ends soon. But if it drags on, risks could mount. What developers are watching now is whether these cost pressures persist. Analysts warn if the crisis deepens, it could delay construction timelines and slow new project launches across India's housing market. Companies like Srishti are working on solutions, including locking in materials at current prices to hedge against any further increases. But Kamlesh Thakur, who's also state president of the industry body Naredco, says ultimately developers may have no choice but to increase home prices.
So far as the endeavor is to absorb the cost, but everybody has a limit. The margins are very thin in today's world. Customers are quite informed. They have a lot of choices. So the prices don't show that kind of margins anymore. So yes, if this gets extended, I fear the cost will be passed on to the customer.
He says property firms are also worried that higher energy prices could push up inflation, potentially limiting room for further interest rate cuts. That in turn could delay easing in home loan rates. Real estate developers are already feeling the strain, but if global tensions persist, home buyers could be next. For CNA, I'm Rebecca Bundan in Mumbai.